3 tips for our listeners who want to get into clinical research?
Yeah, so first you want to understand clinical research. That's what you want to know and kind of understand. Why is there clinical research? What is it about? What is it about, and what are the stages? So one of the things I would suggest is take some core classes, and there are some free classes available. One, it's a good clinical practice course. It's called GCP.com, and they offer a free GCP course, and you can do a quiz where you can get a certificate. And so if you're starting off brand new, you want to have a nice little certification that you at least understand good clinical practice. So that's one course that I would recommend. Another one would be drug development process, and maybe medical terminology if you're not coming from a medical background. Drug development process, you may be able to find a lot of YouTube videos on just what is the drug development process, phase 1 through 4. You want to understand what is phase 1 through 4, why do we do clinical research, and then medical terminology. You can usually take those online, maybe at a local community college or some other course. You can just, get that online. So those core classes are number 1. I would also suggest that you find out what career path, what interests you the most. Do you want to be a clinical research coordinator? Do you want to be a CRA, which is traveling, on the road a lot? Do you want to be a CTM? Because based off of that, you want to make sure you align yourself on the right career progression. So for instance, if you want to be a project manager, you want to go towards the project manager role from the start. You don't want to start way over here and you're like, oh no, I got to come back to be over here. You want to see where you want to understand where you want to be at the end, and then work backwards and say, okay, now what's the progression? If I want to ultimately be here, where do I need to start? So that would be another tip. And then the last tip I would say is find out now, if you want to be a clinical research coordinator, go to online and find local clinical research centers near you. And maybe, just depending on your background and your comfortability, you may want to speak to that site director and tell them that you are interested in being a clinical research coordinator, and see if there's any volunteer opportunities that you can do. That's a good way to get your foot in the door and show that you're a good worker. And chances are, when there's an opening, they'll say, oh, wow, Lucy's over here, she's been great volunteering for the last 3 months, yeah, let's offer her this position because she understands. Let's see, maybe, something like that. So that's a good entryway, a good, look at the local clinical research centers there, or wherever you're at, and see. You don't have to do a lot of time, maybe 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, whatever you're able to do. You can organize lab kits. You can organize study supplies, like sometimes they give blood pressure cuffs and diabetes glucometers. You can organize, you can help wherever you can, but just show that you're interested and get in there and absorb as much as you can about research. And that's been successful for a lot of people, that method. So if you're interested, those are the 3 tips that I would say.